All right. I have some very exciting news. I have just picked up a new bike, and this is it. It's a 2023 KTM SuperDuke 1290 Evo R. Man, what a beautiful bike. I had no plans of buying this bike. I was just in the dealership, and I saw this bike for the first time and just loved the way it looked. That soul sign is mine. It belongs to me now. And so I was just blown away by the looks of this bike and just the way it looks. I mean, so this dealership is where I bought my my Street Fighter Ducati about a year ago. And at that time, they didn't have the KTM. Although, had I known about the Super Duke or had I seen it in person, I would have probably strongly considered getting this as well. I'm still very happy with the Ducati. I'm not selling the Ducati, I'm keeping that. But this bike is just, I see a lot of similarities to the Ducati, but a lot of other differences, right? I did take it for a spin, a quick test ride. It's a relatively new bike. They don't have a dealership demo, but they were kind enough to let me ride this one. So I took it for a few miles and I just fell in love with this torquey engine. The engine is amazing on this. It's 1300 cc's V-twin, so much torque, so much power. I mean, the power is not as much as my Ducati. This thing only makes about 180 horsepower compared to my 208 on the Ducati, but the way this pulls and the way it handles is just amazing. The front end on this is such an amazing front end compared to the Ducati. Very light and very agile, and this engine is a pole, this V-twin engine. I mean, I love V-twin engines. I used to have a V-twin in my V-Strom 650. This was many years ago. This is almost double the size of this V-Strom, and it's a significant lighter bike. So the power to weight and the torque to pound, the weight ratio on this is phenomenal, combined with the handling. And then the other thing I loved about this bike is, for a similar price point to my Ducati, I'm getting a lot more. I'm getting the automated suspension on this, so it's fully automated suspension. So on the Ducati, you got to pay another $5,000 more for that just to turn that on. But this one, top of the range, it comes standard. The Evo range comes standard, so that was something new for me. I always wanted to try out. I've never tried out electronic suspension, so it just rides like a cloud, the electronic suspension. I'll bring more videos in the future, but first impressions of it was it just rides like a Mercedes-Benz, very smooth, just like you're on a cloud, surfing on a cloud or surfing on a wave. It's that smooth and that's comfortable. And the seating position is also very nice, very roomy, just like my Ducati. It's very comfortable ride, and I just fell in love with this bike. I love the single spoke wheel on the rear, and I also love the way the exhaust manifolds and circles around at the bottom of it. It just looks absolutely striking. And I like this aluminium silver, this aluminium tank. It's got this silverish color, and the contrast with the orange is just amazing. This is a steel trellis frame. It's not aluminum like the Ducati and my M209, and it's just amazing. And I really like, of all the bikes that I've ridden, I do 100% believe that these naked bikes are the best bikes you can get because of their agility, because of their handling. And now this is going to be my third naked bike in my garage, with the Ducati Street Fighter and with the Yamaha MT-09. So I think naked bikes, having ridden adventure bikes, cruiser bikes, long distance bikes, touring bikes, super touring bikes, and super sports. I used to have a ZX 10R and had that for many years, and I've also got a Suzuki Gixxer 1000 GT Plus. But this one, the naked bikes, the power you get with the the low weight of it just makes it an unforgettable experience. Naked bikes are fun. They are so much fun, and I just think naked bikes is the way to go. Unless they come up with something better, I don't know what's going to be better than naked bikes in my all the bikes that I've ridden. I think this is the way to go. They don't heat up. It's natural air cooling. The engine gets cooled. It doesn't get heat up like a fully folded covered bike. They're easy to work on. They're easy to repair. And they also look the best. They just look stunning. A naked bike just looks absolutely stunning compared to the super sports and all these exotic bikes. I think naked bikes look the best, and I would highly recommend you guys. I went 360 around the world a couple of times. It never started on naked. I was always concerned about the wind about naked bikes, but you get used to it, right? You just absolutely get used to it. And so anyway, I'm just so happy to have this SuperDuke KTM. It's my first KTM. I was hesitant of getting KTM because of all the horror stories in terms of reliability that have been posting on the web. But that's exactly, the fear that was painted in my head when I got the Ducati, and I said, screw that. I'm just gonna give it a go. If the journey with the KTM is unsuccessful in terms of reliability, then I'll just deal with it. But I'm not gonna let that get in the way of just appreciating how beautiful this bike is. It's a high performance bike. It's an exotic. So this is my first KTM. It's a SuperDuke. I think I went for the best in the KTM. So stay in touch. Stay tuned for more upcoming riding videos and more reports. I'll report how this bike's gonna fare up against the Ducati, the MT-09, and my other bikes in my collection. So stay tuned. We'll catch up soon. Cheers.